If you saw this, you are old. This is the multiverse, 18 days after its creation. The Idiot Project starts here, in the world of Web 2.0. Nobody here knows what a hashtag is. Flip phone technology is in its infancy, and all of your base belongs to me. We start with World Cup 1, or what remains of it. The Idiot Project's database is not entirely complete. Not every World Cup football match has made the journey from history to the record books, which are full of question marks, blank spaces, and red text. Although we know that among the 32 nations in Iridia, there were teams named Racing, Inodia, Boravlek, and the League of 20,000, nobody knows a single thing about them or what they did in the tournament, other than that they didn't do enough to reach the knockout stages. They never entered another World Cup. Their story began and ended in prehistory. A fleck of dust on the front cover of the story of the World Cup. Only 20 matches from World Cup 1 are recorded, and all 20 games are visible here in the form of the World Cup Scorigami chart. The format is simple. Along the top row, we have the goals scored by the winning team of any given game. Along the side, the goals scored by the losing team. Some columns will remain blank. The one with 0 at the top and a 1 on the side will remain blank as, well, you can't win a game from 0 to 1. There were 5 1-0 wins in World Cup 1, a couple of 2-0 victories, a sole 2-1 victory, and 3 3-0 wins. All these results stay in the chart as we add scores from later World Cups. We add the 17 documented games from World Cup 2 and see additions to the 4-0, 5-0, 3-2 and 6-3 squares. 4 Scorigamis. Wait, what is Scorigami? What are we doing here exactly? Scorigami is achieved whenever a team, or more accurately, 2 teams, achieves a scoreline that has never been done before in the history of the World Cup. When Livland beat Iridia 7-3, that was Scorigami. But then as far as we know, so was this 0-0 tie between Al Quds and Crosshill on the opening match day of World Cup 3. If it's the first 0-0 tie, it's a Scorigami, and if it's a Scorigami, it is special. That's what we're doing here. Here, in the early days of the World Cup, Scorigami is cheap. As we go on through the years, it will get harder and harder to get. Only around half of the total games played between cycles 1 and 3 are documented, although all of World Cup 4's results are here at full. Already, many of the gaps have been filled. The only games present from World Cup 5 are the post-qualifying playoffs and the 64 matches from the finals. With so few games, it becomes the first tournament to fail to achieve a Scorigami. World Cup 6 sees the total matches more than double, with a long qualifying campaign followed by a short playoff tournament and the World Cup itself. As such, we see 4 new Scorigamis in Cycle 6. Good job, Cycle 6. From here on, new Scorigamis will be highlighted in pink. From here, to be the first to uncover a new square on the board, you'll have to do something special. 6-4, 7-0, even 9-1 if you want to put daylight between you and the rest. Snubnose 38's 7-0 defeat of Yatsumika in the qualifiers for World Cup 7 stands as the biggest margin of victory so far. A glorious Scorigami for the home of Margaret. Here's what the legend himself has to say about it. After the chaos of the early World Cups, we move into an era of defensive, prophylactic football pioneered by Regis Stanier. It's an era that Simeone Dibradini calls the rise of Carrera. For once, Simbinara de Banana has a point. Here, the amount of 1-0 wins eclipses the total of 2-1 wins at exactly the point Regis Stanier unleash their brand of football on a world ill-equipped to deal with it. Between cycles 8 and 17, only one scorigami is attained. Then, in Simbadina Baba's debut World Cup, Ian defeat veterans Pure Evil 8-0. Like with Snubnose 38, they never acknowledge their achievement. It's only mentioned here by Astab Lady. It's a record that's broken one cycle later by a little-known team called Velita as they thrash Maldinia 9-0. Again, the team who gets the scorigami choose to ignore it, perhaps out of modesty. Beristan do the honours instead. Slikar and Svarinograd make it 3 scorigamis from 3 World Cups with their 5-all draw in World Cup 19. Again, neither team mention it. As we reach the end of the World Cup's halcyon days, it appears that the maximum a World Cup match is capable of is 10 goals, and the highest word count we can get from a scorigami achieving team is a depressing 0. Livland's 7-3 victory still has a place in the record books, alongside 2 6-4 away wins. Velita's demolition of Likea is impressive, but not nearly as impressive as Tony Mag's victory over Belmori and Foxworthy. Why? This was our World Cup 11 scorigami. As such, it's special. Both teams are special. Both teams belong here on a YouTube video 14 years later, and both teams flatly refused to write anything about their achievement. A 5-5 draw rounds off the 4 10-goal games we've had. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all we're capable of. Maybe we'll never get to more than 10 goals in a match. Perhaps our quest for World Cup scorigamis is doomed. Perhaps we'll never find a scorigami sitting next to an actual match report. Perhaps World Cup 21, held in Cockbill Street and Slovenia, can help us. Perhaps there's a reason why this chapter is called The Miracle of Cockbill Street. There is a theory that this 8-7 scoreline was actually the result of a misprint in the official NSWC results list. The theory goes that the game actually ended in a score draw that went to penalties, and the goals in the penalty shootout were erroneously listed in the final score. The theory suggests both teams decided, fuck it, and published a fantastical match report that suggested the game was a 15-goal barnstormer. Is there any evidence for this theory? No. Will we ever see another 15-goal game in the World Cup? Yes, we will.